Welcome to Cut the BS with Holly and Rachel.
We are here to help you ditch the overwhelm, stop second guessing, and reconnect with what truly fuels your body, your mind, and your life.
No fluff, no filters, just real talk that helps you feel strong, aligned, and unstoppable. Whether you're on a walk, commuting, or sipping your favorite matcha, this is your space. So, welcome, ladies and potential gentlemen that are out there. My name is Rachel, aka Ray Ray, aka Bon Bon, and of course, who else would I be with other than Miss Holly?
The one, the only,
That's right.
Holly.
Holly, the one and only. So today we are going to be talking about something that I feel like everyone can truly and deeply relate to. We're talking about unspoken rules in the gym icks, red flags. We know it's a jungle in there. We know that there are all kinds of species of animals. And so we're
Species is
just going to really
crazy.
kind of, well, some are predators, some are prey. And I mean that in the most sincere and truthful way. Am I a poet and didn't know it? So, so yes, we're going to talk about some red flags. We're going to talk about some gym icks. Because a lot of times, for people that are new in the gym, they go in there and they're very overwhelmed. They're very taken back, like, whoa, what is going on? And so we're here to bring some normalcy to that, and then maybe even to have a public service announcement for those who are participating in some of these icky practices, and go from there.
And just maybe a reminder is necessary that we say this all with lightheartedness and, tough love if you fit into any of these categories. That's
Right,
all right.
right.
What's important is that we acknowledge our flaws and our shortcomings and that we address them and take action steps to fixing them.
Right, right. Holly, we too are human, and I'm sure that there are things that we have done in the gym that have been icky to someone else or that have bothered someone else. I know that I used to personal train in a gym, and we all know that personal trainers in a gym tend to irk some people in one way or another. So, we too have learned our lessons and continued to grow.
And I think these are also all maybe subjective. What I find to be an ick, someone else might not find to be an ick. Um, I'm sure me taking a million selfies is an ick to someone at some point. Do I really care?
Right.
No, not really. I'm like spatially aware. I'm not taking a selfie while someone else is like trying to use the equipment. I think that's like the most important
Right.
thing. So, some of these, let's work on them. Other things, maybe we're just being a little bitchy about it. It's all right. All right. It's our party. We can do what we want, as Miley Cyrus says.
She does. She does say that. So, Holly, tell me, let's start out with some of the like unspoken gym rules or gym etiquette, if you will, that you have noticed that are really high on your list, because we all have our own invisible lists, right? So what's high up on your invisible list?
I think so let's address things that everyone should unanimously agree on first, okay? Um, Number one, first and foremost, unrack your weight. When you're done using a barbell or a leg press or anything where you've put plates on it, I don't care if you put a 10-pound plate on each side, move it. Sometimes some people think that it's just a 25. Anyone can do a 25 until that person can't. And now maybe they're struggling to even just get the 25 off of it. You don't know everyone's story in this little here gym. Let's unrack our weight. Okay. I'm done now.
Right.
That's my
Wait,
number
so
one.
I have a specific question. What about the leg press? Do we leave a 45 on each side?
I feel like you should be able to, but you can't because, again, you don't know who's coming in behind you. Now, I'm guilty. I'll be the first to say it. I'm guilty of being like I'm reading the room of the gym. Everyone here that would maybe get on this can probably do a 45. Other times I'm really great.
Mhm.
All right, like 98% of the time I'm really good about taking it off. Again,
Right.
it's all about noticing our
I
flaws and fixing them.
right. I definitely always leave at least a 45 on the leg press, but, maybe I'll start taking it all off.
I mean, like, it's tricky. It really is. I think we should just because I've seen people only be able to do 25, you know?
I think they're selling themselves short, but
Oh, tea or matcha, shall
okay.
we say.
This
Um,
episode is brought to you by homemade matcha a la Ray Ray's house.
aka every episode is brought by a matcha or a poppy.
Right. Okay, so Holly's really big on rack your frickin' weights. If you're gonna put 14 plates on each side, take off 14 plates on each side. You feel me?
Yep, it's
Right.
part of the workout, my guy or my girl.
Mm. Something that I am really big on is definitely like wiping down gym equipment. Y'all are nasty, first of all. Y'all are sweaty, second of all. And third of all, let's just wipe down. Like I first of all, I will always wipe down before and after because before, obviously, I don't know who's been on that machine and again, y'all nasty. So, we're going to wipe it down before and then we're going to wipe it down after. Um if I am wiping it down before and I look at said paper towel and it looks dirty, that tells me that nobody has been wiping it down. So,
Mhm.
let's just be clean, okay? Even if you ain't cleaning your home, that's your business. But when we're in a public space, we should practice cleanliness. So,
I'm
and
right
there's
there with
really
you.
no, yeah, there's really no middle ground on that. Like, you just need to do it, I think.
I think the only thing that's like acceptable to not wipe down is like a dumbbell, for example. Like you don't
Yeah.
I think it's like great if you do it, keep doing it, you're a superhero. But I think like
Mhm.
anything that you're putting your body on, let's wipe it down.
Right.
Dumbbells, I have a little bit more room for yes, no, maybe. Equipment that we're lying
Right.
down and putting our bare skin on, no, thank you.
Mm.
Actually, even clothed skin. I don't
Yeah.
care if you've got shorts, leggings, whatever. Wipe it down.
Yeah, you're acting like that butt sweat doesn't seep through the shorts. It does. It does.
And it shows.
Um, right, and it definitely shows. So yeah, I don't wipe down dumbbells, or anything like with a rigid bar, like with the little what are those
Mhm.
called? Earlings? I don't think they're called Earlings.
I've never heard of
The
that word.
ridges, like the
Yep.
rough part of the bar.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not gonna wipe that down because then it just shreds the paper towel, and then I'm left with more of a mess than I came with. So, no, I feel you on that for sure.
Another one that I feel like 95% of people agree here, and then there's like a small portion who are just in their own world. People who listen to music on their speaker. You do
No,
not
they don't.
bring a speaker to the gym.
No,
No.
they don't.
You've never seen that before? You're blessed.
Who
I've
does?
seen it several times.
No way. Is it even good music? Like, what music were they playing?
I mean, it's not my music. Music is very subjective.
Right.
I wouldn't say I wanna listen to that. And, like, the issue is like I have my headphones in, I'm listening to my music, and yet your speaker is still I can hear my music, but I can't be into my music because I'm so pissed off at you for using a speaker.
Right, right. The best thing Apple ever did was invent noise cancellation headphones. Um, and I only use first of all, I don't know for any of you out there that have, like, the newer AirPods, um, are the frequencies damaging our brain? Probably, but what isn't damaging our brain at this point in 2025? Um, but they have a noise cancellation option where I think it, like, sends sound waves to cancel out everything else that's happening. I don't know how the math works or the science or whatever you wanna call it. But regardless, I don't use those except on an aeroplane and in the gym because both are very loud environments and I can't handle it.
Mhm.
And I would like to not listen to my own music at a blasted volume because are we all gonna suffer from hearing loss at the age of 60? Likely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I just got new AirPods and I opted out of the noise canceling ones because I don't
Uh,
travel a lot and because I feel like most of the time it's okay to hear a little bit of
right.
something. But yeah, when I'm beside the people with the speaker, they're lucky I don't throw a
It's
dumbbell at
just
them.
it's I mean, I get it, but also it's just like a consideration thing. Like, not everybody likes your music and not everybody like the gym typically plays music over the speaker, so
Right.
just listen to that, you know?
Right.
Or invest in some headphones.
Or invest in some headphones, crazily enough. One time somebody was doing it while I was on the Stairmaster, and I read on the Stairmaster while listening to his rap. And I was just like, I can't focus on my books. This is going to be the slowest 30 minutes of my life. I almost leaned
Read
over and
and
said,
Stairmaster.
yeah, easy.
I don't know that I could do that,
You
but
could.
we
It's one
you
foot in
know,
front of the other. You put your kindy right up on the Stairmaster thing. You don't even hold it. And you
not the
just
candy.
read and you just read and you step.
Not little Kin.
My little kindy. She's my emotional support, okay?
Right, right. Okay. So, other unspoken gym rules. Let's see here. Um, we got a small little list from the people of maybe some unspoken gym rules, and let's get our take on it. So, there's one that says, "Don't grunt like you're auditioning for a horror movie." Thoughts?
I agree. The hunk alarm at Planet Fitness, they did their big one with that one. Have
Right.
you seen that?
I have seen it. I thought that was more for, like, slamming weights, though. Does it, like,
Oh,
alarm
maybe
when
it
someone
is, but
grunts
I
really
consider
loud?
all of it the hunk alarm. I think it
Right.
might be slamming weights, but all of it to me is just like, can you just simmer down, actually?
The question is, can someone grunt loud enough to set off the hunk alarm?
That, somebody
Probably.
out there will probably take that as a challenge, Rachel. So let's be very careful with our words.
Um, yeah. It's just so the whole purpose of a grunt is to contract the abs, I believe. Um, in volleyball, we call that piking. So, like, I understand the purpose of, like, contracting the core, using the core for exercises, but, like, grunting very loudly is probably just gonna give you a hernia, so maybe we should just dial it back, and if you have to grunt that loudly and that hard to push the weight, maybe we should just not do that weight, you
Yeah,
know?
that and I'm not here to sit on anybody and the weight that they're lifting, but sometimes it's just not even a lot of weight. Sometimes it just doesn't require a grunt. Like, it's just more for show and more out of, like, habit, if you will, than they're actually needing the grunt. Like, trust me, I've been under some weight. Recently, we've started doing um, what are they? Pendulum squats. Um, and I was underweight that like I did have to let a little something out, but it wasn't that loud. I don't think. I hope not. Um, and it was one time. It wasn't like throughout the whole set of reps. It was maybe
Well,
like the
and
last couple.
again, this says grunting like you're auditioning for a horror movie. I don't think that you were at that. I don't think you were on that level. I don't
That's
think
so true.
anyone should be on that level.
Yeah.
Because, well, we already said why. Okay, so the second one from the people. If you're bicep curling on the squat rack, you're banned.
Have you seen that before?
So, no, I've not seen someone bicep curling on the squat rack. Um, and maybe I just really don't pay attention that much. Like I have a time and place when I'm people watching, but most of the time, like especially in year 2025, when I go to the gym, I go to the gym, I do my things, I leave. Like I probably
Mhm.
make eye contact with maybe 3 people because I'm just like I'm in my zone. I'm trying to get in, get out.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think if there's been a situation where someone has been on a piece of equipment doing something just like completely not the purpose of the equipment. I will say I am guilty of going on the squat rack because there are pull-up bars on it and doing
Mhm.
like assisted pull-ups. But I feel like that's valid. Like I mean, like yeah,
Right.
someone can't squat rack there because or they can't squat on the squat rack because I'm there doing pull-ups. But most of the time I try to like incorporate it with like a bent over rows or something. So like it serves more of the purpose. And
Mhm.
that's just me. But I don't know, have you witnessed that at all? Not using the
I
equipment for its
have.
purpose?
I have. I've definitely seen some people curling in the squat rack. Um,
Oh.
and I think depending on the gym, it also is a hit or miss, like as far as whether it's okay to do. Like at my current gym, there's I want to say 6 different squat racks and then 2 platforms. If they're not being heavily used, I think you could easily just grab a dumbbell or grab a straight bar and do the same thing. It's kind
Right.
of a long it's a really long thing to be curling in my opinion. Why would you want to do that? But to each their own,
Mm,
I'm not gonna yuck your yum. But
right.
I think it's just like if there's only 3 available squat racks throughout the whole place, let's leave those for the purpose of them. I also think
Right.
there's nowhere else, like to your pull-up thing, there's nowhere else that you can really do an assisted pull-up in my opinion. Like even on the machine that like you can do pull-ups or assisted pull-ups
Mhm.
on. If you're doing like banded, that machine, I don't know, I wouldn't trust that machine like I would trust a squat rack. So I think that's like
Right.
appropriate. And also somebody could work
Yeah.
in theory with you while you use the pull-up bar.
Yes, but don't ask me to work in. Right.
Right.
But just please don't talk to me and let me just be in my own space.
Yeah, like just
Now,
maybe
it's
ask how long I'm going to be here first.
right, and then I'll hurry it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't like the assisted pull-up machine.
Mm-mm.
It's just I'm not a fan. I will never have any of my clients do it. Even though I've gotten many complaints that I don't put that in the workout and will instead put band assisted pull-ups. They're like, why can't I just do the assisted? Like, no, I hate the assist. Personal
Yeah.
preference. Um, but I feel like banded is harder.
Yeah.
So I want to challenge you a little bit. Heaven forbid.
I also think it's just personally, maybe it's just like the way my body is. Like I don't it's not a proper pull up when I'm using the machine assisted one. Like I'm too far
Mm-hmm.
wide or I'm too far in, like it just doesn't feel good. I can't adjust properly because I'm like more limited to whatever it's already set to. Um I mean, I think if you really want to get a pull up and that's all you have available, go for it. Um It's just yeah, just not a preferred, in my opinion. I would agree.
Right.
A funny story. So you know, like the hip thrust machines where it's not on the ground, like not a glute drive, but like a hip thrust where you kind of sit into it. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You like you load it with plates and then you like strap in like you're on a little roller coaster.
Mhm.
And then
Yes,
you
I've seen these.
thrust up, right? Apparently, somebody at my gym, I didn't see this, somebody was telling me about it, got in it backwards. So instead of like head up, their ass was going up and head was down. I was like, what did they think they were doing? This isn't like I'm unsure whether they were doing like almost like those frog pumps you see people do or like a Superman. I don't know. I wish I would have seen it,
Hmm.
but they were telling me about that and I was like, oh, like there really needs to be some instructions on some of this equipment because where did they see that? And
Right.
how did they come to that conclusion?
I was gonna say, but even if there aren't instructions, make it make sense,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, that was just a
Wow,
funny, like, what are we doing?
yeah, I mean, it when I said that it was a jungle, I was not kidding, and I also was not kidding when I said that there are many different species inside
Man.
said jungle.
And
Mm,
unlike nature, we could do without a few. You know, the whole ecological
right.
system isn't collapsing without some of them.
Mm, very true, very true.
All right, so we've kind of talked about some of the unspoken rules. And with the unspoken rules, I feel like it's one of those things where there's less room for debate on like right versus wrong or, you know, where we land. It's like, yes, you need to unrack. Yes, you need to wipe down your equipment. Yes, we need to be mindful of the equipment we're using, how we're using it, and, you know, other people in the gym. Gym icks, though, I feel like are a little bit more subjective. And this is where we're going to hold your hand but while we say these things. And if this is you, you know, that's okay. We don't hate you. We still love you. And this is all just in fun, you know? Just we're just here to yap, okay? Like it's really just not that deep.
Right,
If we hurt your feelings, so sorry. Hope that we can repair it and move on.
right. Right. Yeah, like you said, this is very subjective. We're both our own individual people and as two individual people who have been in the gym for quite some time, I feel like we've seen a lot, you know. There's still probably more to see, unfortunately. But I don't know about you, but I've seen some interesting things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And kind of to open it, maybe another ick of mine would just be people doing some what in the hell are you doing movements, such as the man on the hip thrust
mhm.
machine. Or for
Yes.
me, a really big trendy movement I see right now is the frog pumps on the Smith machine. Have you seen that?
Is that where you, like, lay on a bench and you've
Yes.
got your feet okay. Yeah, hmm. So, to give a visual for those who don't know what we're talking about. So, I've seen it both ways. I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where you lay on your back and you, like, put your feet on the bar and, like, push up, and then I've also seen where you lay on your stomach and you, like it's basically like a kickback, but you're kicking the Smith machine up, which I'm all for finding unique ways to target different muscle groups, you know, to create some versatility, but I just feel like there's a line of where we're maybe just trying to do a little too much, and we should just keep it simple,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
That's an
Absolutely.
interesting it's interesting.
And maybe just be mindful
Unique.
that we are in a public gym. Not everyone wants to see you Gucci up, you know?
Right, right.
I don't know.
Um,
What's
yeah,
one of
that
your
one
icks,
is
Rachel?
that's that's a good one. Um, I have so many. And, I am really I I usually try to keep a lot of my thoughts to myself. Um, but since we're on here,
Yeah, the people have
um,
given us a
something that
platform, Rachel. We will use it.
right. Something that I wouldn't even necessarily call it an ick, it's more of a concern. Um, One concern that I really have is the way that some of these trainers are training their clients in the gym. So obviously we know that most gyms have, their own personal trainers. And so you join a gym, you can get your own personal trainer at said gym. Um, and honestly, as someone who used to train in a gym and definitely was I was in this position as well when I was a brand new baby trainer. There were things that I had my clients do that, maybe weren't the best. And we learn from our mistakes and we keep it moving, because we're
Hmm.
none perfect. But man, knowing now what I know and then seeing other baby trainers doing some very, maybe these baby trainers are ex-college athletes and they're taking, Billy
Hmm.
Bob through a full collegiate dynamic warm up. But I'm sorry, Billy Bob just doesn't have the coordination to even do said dynamic warm up. Um,
Right.
it doesn't mean you shouldn't take Billy Bob through a warm up, but I think, doing very complex movements that you did in college with Billy Bob, who um, can't even walk on a treadmill and chew gum at the same time. I just feel like maybe he's just a little too progressive, you know?
Yeah. And
But
that's why Billy
that's
Bob doesn't come back to the gym also, because he feels
mm,
defeated. I think that could be a whole episode. It's like industry icks.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's something that because you best believe when I'm in a gym and I'm seeing some crazy things going on between trainer and trainee or trainer and client, I will pause my music, take off my noise cancellation, and listen to every word that trainer
Yeah.
is saying just to be like, what are we doing? Like,
Every
now I'm
time.
nosy. Now
Yeah.
I'm nosy. Now I want to know what you're telling this person who really doesn't know any better. Like, are we giving them facts? Are we giving them fiction? I want to know. I'm nosy, you know?
Yeah. And I also think like there's a fine line of like dumbing it down without giving false information. Like I don't think you have to explain every single thing to a T, but I also think I should say, they deserve factual information
Mhm.
in a um receptible way where they can,
Right.
retrieve that information and actually know what you're talking about.
Agreed. Agreed. Not a lot of jargon needs to go on, you know?
On that same note, I think boyfriends that train their girlfriends is an ick to me. Let me expand. Similar to the college athlete training Billy Bob off the street as if he's also a college athlete or ex college athlete within the last 3 years, maybe even two. Um, Boyfriends who have been in the gym for, I don't know, I've seen people who look like they've been in the gym themselves for like 2 months, up to, forever. Training their girlfriend like they would train themselves when their girlfriend is obviously intimidated by the gym, obviously not ready to get under a barbell of any sort to do any sort of movement. It just gives me the ick. And also, that's
Yeah.
another situation where I turn my music off and I just listen and I just want to go save the girl every single time.
Right. Tell her to run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, your man is a red flag, okay?
Oh. I feel that. Um, yeah. So just some cringe things, that we see and that we question. And maybe we need more context. Maybe we don't have all the context we need for a situation, but you know, it is what it is. Um, I'll say as well something that is, and this is really just a Rachel thing because I am someone who's very detail oriented. And so, as someone who's very detail oriented, who's also trained individuals in person, I have online clients, all the things. Something that is really, really important to me and part of my coaching philosophy is like the foundations, right? So, when we're doing any sort of movement, what does our foundation look like? And where does the
Mhm.
foundation start? You guessed it, the feet. Okay. No foot fetishes here. However, the feet, people's feet are trash. People's feet are trash. Your ankles are weak. Your feet are weak. You got, I mean, I watch people do lunges a lot, like dumbbell lunges, barbell lunges, whatever kind of lunge. Everyone's always doing lunges, okay, in the gym. That's just what they do. And every single time, like I've maybe seen two people in the last 2 years, um, that were doing lunges, and I felt like their feet and ankle integrity while doing said lunges were actually pretty great or pretty good. I'm watching all these people do lunges and I'm seeing their ankles collapsing. I'm seeing their knees collapsing. I'm seeing their feet wobble all the way. I'm surprised you can even balance. And so
My God.
I just want to make a public service announcement that we need to maybe look at the shoes we're wearing. Let's look at, um, let's just look at the foundations a little bit. The feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips. Those are very important areas to focus on.
Yeah, maybe stop doing the functional workout you see on Instagram and start working on the actual foundation because that is functional.
It sure
Mm.
is. Yes. No fancy
Um,
word needed.
exactly. That reminds me, this past week I was doing legs and I had on my cutie pair of tennis shoes that I love so much now. Um, and I was just feeling lazy and I was gonna do lunges or split squats is what I was doing, I think. And I kept my shoe on or my shoes. uh,
Just one.
and just one, just the one. And I didn't feel stable per se, but I also didn't feel super unstable. I went back to watch the video, and you can seriously see the impact that the shoe is having on my stability in my feet. It's crazy. Like, and you don't know. I don't care that I get looked at the gym for walking around in my slides because I'm gonna take my shoes off, especially on leg day. I wear socks. I clean my socks. I put them
Right.
in the dirties afterwards. Quit looking at me funny, okay? I will always, almost, except when I'm feeling lazy, I guess, not be wearing shoes on leg day for that reason. Because there's just no
Same.
better foundation than your actual foot. No shoe is cutting it for me.
Right. I like to refer to shoes as foot prisons. So that's where I stand. I'm not out here walking barefoot everywhere. If it was socially acceptable, I probably honestly would. It's not socially acceptable, but you best believe I do have my barefoot work shoes, my Vivos, got a pair of Vivos. Um, my running shoes I have some Ultras that aren't barefoot, but they are zero drop and they do have a wide toe box so your toes can actually spread out and your toes don't look like this inside of your shoe. We could have a whole, I mean, I could really deep dive on feet and foundations of movement because we in America, I'm sure in other places, we're really just not doing what we need to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And again, like with my shoes, I think they add some cuteness to my outfit. So I was willing to sacrifice,
Absolutely.
functionality to have that cuteness, and then I saw that video and I was like, "Haha, never again. Never again. Actually, never." A gym ick of mine is when you ask someone, "Hey, how long do you have left on this?" Or "How many more sets do you have?" Or "Can I work in with you?" And they look at you like you're at their home gym, like you've intruded on their space. I get it. Sometimes it's not appropriate to ask mid-set, okay? That pisses me off. Why are you talking to me mid-set?
Mm.
I'm literally fighting for my life.
Right.
If I'm just resting, especially if I'm resting for an extended amount of time, guilty, another ick. um, I just have to ask. You don't need to look at me all crazy.
Right. Right. I'm not gonna ask someone to work in, because again, like when I go to the gym, first of all, I'm already mad when I'm at the gym that I'm not at a home gym, that I don't have a home gym because I really would love a home gym so that I don't have to talk to anybody and I can literally do my things and be done. There's no commute soon, hopefully, Lord willing. Um, I won't be asking anyone to work in. I will actually alter my entire workout in order to avoid that. And that's funny because I am extroverted. So, like, I don't care to talk to people or to spark up a conversation with someone that I don't know. Like, that doesn't bother
Mhm.
me. It's not scary for me. I can do it with literally a brick wall if I needed to. And if someone asks me to work in, like, I don't have a problem with it, but also don't ask me to work in. Like, just let me be done and then you can have it. Like, I don't know. But that literally is just preference.
Working in is kind of annoying. It is an inconvenience, but and I
Right.
think gym matters, is this the only leg curl available, or are you just being picky and just have to use this one at this given moment? I
Right.
don't prefer to work in with people. I don't prefer to let people work in with me, but I'm not gonna say no. I don't think you
I've
would say
never
no
said
either. Let
no.
me be clear. Yeah, I don't think you
Yeah.
would say no.
Yeah.
It's just not a
I've never said
preference.
no. So we do have, again, some icks from the people, from some of the women out there, our listeners have mentioned gym selfies. What are our thoughts on gym selfies? Are they an ick? Are they not an ick? What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's an ick. That's from someone who takes them. Like I said earlier, I will have like situational awareness, awareness of who's around me, using what equipment, things like that. Now, I don't think you need to be in there having a whole photo shoot. I think there's a
Right.
time and a place for that. And like there's even probably a corner in the gym available for that. Um,
Right.
that said, I also don't feel like people should be upset at people recording their lifts in the gym. I feel like that kind of like go hand in hand. There's lots of different reasons to be filming your workout aside from just thinking that you're a content creator and an influencer. Number one, let people live their dream. Let them create what they want to create. Really not that hard. Um,
Right.
Number two, I tell my clients all the time, record this lift. Let me see. Especially if they're like,
Literally.
oh, this is hurting my back. You're probably doing it wrong, babe. Love ya, but you're probably
Right.
doing that wrong. That shouldn't be hurting your
Right.
back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think like the judgment that people get for pulling out a tripod or propping their phone up on their water bottle or whatever is like uncalled for.
Yeah, no, I agree. I film a lot of my lifts. How many of those actually ever see the gram?
Felt
The
that.
ratio is not the ratio is not ratioing. But I and with my clients too, like I program for people online. And so you best believe I am telling them to record yourself doing this, record yourself doing that, and send it to me because I need to see what your form looks like because if it's trash, we need to alter some things?
Right.
So, yeah, definitely on the recording train. Now, does it need to be in the center and in the way, like your tripod be up in the middle of everything? No, like when I record, I kind of tuck it away, maybe
Hmm.
hide it a little bit where it's still getting the view, but it's not like in people's way. But, being considerate. But yeah,
Right.
film away. You do
Yeah,
you.
for sure. And yeah, to assume that everybody's doing it because they're like self-centered is a you issue.
Right. Right. At the end of the day, we all have our own preferences, and anytime you go to a public space, preferences are going to be overlapped, like there are going to be people that are doing things that maybe you don't like and vice versa. But I think the takeaway from today is to be considerate of other people. Um, and, get in, do your thing, get out, use the gym for its purpose. And don't feel like you have to use a machine in a super unique way when you can just keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and just do your own thing, be mindful of others, and on the flip side of that, you don't know everyone else's story, you know? I see some
Right.
people doing things and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are you doing that exercise thinking you're targeting? Who am I to think that, I know the purpose of that exercise? Maybe they got it from physical therapy and the
Right.
doctor of physical therapy said that that would help them.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
just let people be them to
Mm,
an extent, as long as they're not actively harming themselves or others.
right. Yeah, definitely. So, on that note, definitely let us know to the audience out there, what are some icks that you guys have when it comes to the gym? Or maybe what are some experiences that you've had in the gym that were very non-desirable, if you will? And I believe that's all that we have. So, hope you enjoyed all the funny, annoying, cringy things that we talked about. And till next time.
Till next time, peace, love, and happiness.
And that's a wrap on this episode of Cut the BS with Holly and Rachel. If today gave you a dose of clarity, confidence, or even just a good laugh, we've done our job.
Don't forget, wellness isn't about doing more, it's about doing what actually works for you. So take what hit home, leave the rest, and keep showing up as your strongest, realest self.
Be sure to follow, rate, and share this episode with someone who's ready to cut the BS and live with more intention. Until next time.